Hi everyone. I'm here to show you some of the more advanced features in Google Forms for you so that you can really maximize your Google Form experience. The first thing I want to show you is up here in the upper right hand corner when you go to your paint palette to customize the theme. Now you can choose your own image to serve as the header. You can go to choose image, and here are all the ones that you're used to choosing from, but you can also upload one from your computer. I'm going to click browse. I have a quick link to images on my Chromebook. And here is an image that I can use. It'll ask you to resize it, so you do need to make sure that you have an image that is of comparable size to what you're looking for. And you can add a caption if you wanted to describe it in any way. I'm going to click done, and Google Forms is automatically going to create a color palette that's based on the image that I've chosen as well. You can also change the color palette if you disagree with some of the choices that it's made. You can change the background color here. That is a little bit more stagnant. And then also when you're looking at customizing your form's appearance, if you click font style, there's a menu for basic, decorative, formal, and playful. And that's going to change the font in which your questions appear. Again, to test out to see what it looks like from the student's perspective, you can click the preview button and you can look at it. In addition, from your settings menu, you probably already know this, but I wanted to make mention of it, that in the quizzes area, you can make this a quiz and then you can turn on locked mode for Chromebooks. When you turn on locked mode for Chromebooks, the students will not be able to access any other tabs or any other programs on their computer while they are completing a Google form. This is helpful if you wanted to use a Google form as a hopefully more authentic assessment. If you are constructing a quiz that has only multiple choice questions or checking a box type of questions, then you can select this option for release grade immediately after each submission. But if you're like me and you have some short answer questions that you also want to be able to grade by hand, you want to go ahead and click later after manual review. And then that gives you the ability to go through each student's answer and mark them as correct or incorrect. That does give you a little bit of latitude to accept some spelling errors or to accept students expressing an answer in a slightly different way than what you would have intended. When you are releasing the grade, you have options, and the options are that the person who took the form can see their missed questions, the correct answers to the question, as well as the point value. You may or may not want to share the correct answers depending on whether or not you're going to be giving the Google form as an assessment with another class that happens to meet after you release grades for the first class. So I'm going to go ahead and save my settings, and it gives you a quick indicator here on the top. Locked mode is on, just so that you know that your students will require a Chromebook in order to take your particular assessment. When you're adding questions, one of the newest features of Google Forms is that you can import questions from other Google Forms that you've created. So over here in the question bar, which is normally where you would set up your Google Form questions, you can click import questions and you can take questions from previous forms that you've made or previously selected. So it's going to use the most recent forms first in the list, but you can also just do a quick search to search for something that is a little bit more pertinent to what you're looking for. When I double click the form from which I want to draw questions, it actually does give me a choice of all of the questions. It reminds me that this is a multiple choice question with 3 options. It reminds me that this is a short answer question, etc. You could theoretically import all the questions from a particular form, but I will be honest, if you're going to do that, it's actually much easier to just make a copy of the form and rename your new copy with something different. So if I wanted to import a couple of different questions, I might say those 3 questions, import them, and they're going to populate with exactly the same answer key that's already given here, exactly the same answer format as they had earlier as well. And finally, I just want to review some of the principles of creating a Google form insofar as the fact that you can add images and videos to your questions. Both images and videos will be accessible to students in locked form. Just make sure that your videos, if they're housed, well, they need to be housed on YouTube, but you need to make sure that the privacy settings on your YouTube videos are for public YouTube videos so that students can see it when they're inside of the form. Hope this was helpful.